The Malay language has a complex system of titles and honorifics, which are still used extensively, especially in Brunei and relatively in Malaysia. Singapore, whose Malay royalty was abolished by the British colonial government in 1891, has adopted civic titles for its leaders. The Philippines historically used Malay titles during its pre-Hispanic period, as evidenced by the titles of historical figures such as Raja Sulaiman, Lakandula and Dang Kalanjutan. Malay titles are still used by the royal houses of Sulub, Maguindanao, Maranao and Irinon on the southern Philippine island of Mindanao, but these are retained on a traditional basis as the 1987 Constitution explicitly reaffirms the abolition of royal and noble titles in the Republic. Indonesia, meanwhile, as a republic, does not recognize hereditary rulers and aristocratic systems. Nevertheless, their royal titles and honors are still used as courtesy titles. Today, Malaysia, Brunei and several provinces in Indonesia still regularly award honorary and life titles. What follows is specific to the Malaysian system. References to Brunei and Indonesia are given when pertinent. In Malaysia, all non-hereditary titles can be granted to both men and women. Every title has a form which can be used by the wife of the title holder. This form is not used by the husband of a titled woman. Such a woman will bear a title which is the same as a titled man. Usage: the sequence that should be used when formally writing or addressing a person's name is as follows: honorary style, professional rank, royal hereditary title, federal title, state title, non-royal hereditary title, doctor, Haji Hajur, name. A style carried by virtue of royal title always trumps those carried by non-royal titles. Male royals may choose to append al-Haj to their name instead of using Haji. The following example is correct: Yang Amat Mulia General Tengku Dato al-Haj. Malay royalty: the following titles are hereditary and reserved for royal families of the 9 royal states of Malaysia and royal families of Brunei. Brunei equals. The following styles and titles are used for members of the royal house in Brunei: Kebawa Dulai Yang Maha Mulia Paduka Seri Baginda Sultan Dan Yang Dipatuan Negara Brunei Darussalam is the official title of the Sultan of Brunei, and styled as His Majesty. Kebawa Dulai Yang Maha Mulia Paduka Seri Baginda Raja Isteri is the official title of the ruler's most senior consort, and styled as Her Majesty. Dulai Yang Teramat Mulia Paduka Seri Penjuran Isteri is the official title for the Sultan's junior consort and styled as Her Royal Highness. Kebawa Dulai Yang Teramat Mulia Paduka Seri Bagon Sultan is the official title of the currently vacant office of the former abdicated Sultan. It was last held by Almarhum Sultan Omar Ali Saifuddin III, who abdicated in favor of his son and styled as His Majesty. Kebawa Dulai Yang Teramat Mulia Paduka Seri Suri Bagoan Raja Isteri is the official title for the Queen Mother and is currently vacant and styled as Her Majesty. Penjuran is a hereditary honorific prefix for those who have blood ties with the royal family who are married, and can be styled Prince or Princess. The Crown Prince has the title Penjuran Muda Mahkota styled as His Royal Highness. The Sultan's sons would have the title Penjuran Muda. The Sultan's daughters-in-law would have the title of Penjuran Anak Isteri. The Sultan's daughters would have the title Penjuran Anak Puteri. Penjuran Anak is the honorific prefix for the child of the prince and princess. Penjuran Isteri is the honorific prefix for the wife of the prince, usually with royal heritage. Penjuran Bni is the honorific prefix for the wife of the prince, usually with non-royal heritage. Penjuran Baby Raja is the honorific prefix for the mother of the queen. Unmarried royal children have the following titles: Angku is the honorific for male children of a Penjuran who are unmarried. Dayangku is the honorific for female children of a Penjuran who are unmarried. Malaysia equals, Yang Dipatuan Agong is the official title of the ruler of all Malaysia, elected from among the 9 heads of the royal families. The title is often glossed King in English. Yang Dipatuan Bisa is the official title of the ruler of Negeri Sembilan. All other rulers are sultans except the Raja of Perlis. Yang Dipatuan Negeri is not a royal title, but the title of the head of the state for the state of Penang, Melaka, Sabah and Sarawak, which does not have a hereditary ruler. Yang di-Pertua Negeri is installed by His Majesty Yang di-Pertua Negeri. It was always mistakenly used the word governor, which was only suitable to use during the British time. Tuanku is both a title when used before a name and form of address when used alone, and is reserved for the Malay rulers. It is a contraction of the phrase Tuanku, and as a form of address can be glossed as Your Majesty, or Your Highness, but is left untranslated when used as a title. In Sarawak, Tuanku is the prefix used by certain noble families. In Aceh, a province of Indonesia, Tuanku is given to the children and grandchildren of a reigning monarch. Tengku is roughly equivalent to prince or princess. Tengku is also a royal hereditary Malay title in eastern Sumatra, which is part of Alam Nilayau. East Sumatra has several Malay sultanates, such as the Sultanate of Langkot, the Sultanate of Sedang, the Sultanate of Delhi, the Sultanate of Asahan, and the Sultanate of Siak Sri Indrapura, as well as Tengku Bisa of Pilihan and the Sultanate of Realingga. Styles on formal Malaysian notices K Bawah Dulai Yang Maha Mulia is used for the Yang di-Pertua Negeri and state rulers alike. However, the Yang di-Pertua Negeri also uses the prefix Siri Paduka Baginda, and in English, his title is often translated as His Majesty. A state ruler is His Royal Highness. Since 1984, the ruler of Johor has used the title Baginda as well, but he is still referred to in English as His Royal Highness. The ruler of Perak also uses the prefix Paduka Siri, which is derived from the archaic formula Paduka Siri Maulana. The ruler of Negeri Sembilan also used the prefix Paduka Siri between 1993 and 2004. These titles are not used as a form of address instead Tuanku is used. Yang Teramat Mulia is used by the children of reigning sultans and by the Dato' Klena, the Undang of Sungai Ajang in Negeri Sembilan. Yang Amat Mulia translates to His/Her Royal Highness, is used by the children of the ruler of Negeri Sembilan and Johor, the Undang of Jelbu, Johol and Rimau and the Tunku Bisa of Tampin in Negeri Sembilan. Yang Mulia translates to His/Her Highness, used for heirs and heiresses, descendants of royal families, sultans/rajas. Federal titles. In Malaysia, the Yang di-Pertua Negeri grants federal title awards. Some may carry the following federal titles. Such titles are honorary and non-hereditary. Federal title may be revoked by the Yang di-Pertua Negeri, and may be returned by the individual. Tun The Tun title has existed in the Malaysian society for hundreds of years. In ancient times, Tun was an honorific title used by noble people of royal lineage. Tun is a title inherited by the male descendants. Over time, the Tun title has become a title conferred by the Yang di-Pertua Negeri to the most deserving recipient who has highly contributed to the nation. The highest federal award granted by the Malaysian government is the Siri Pahlawan Gagah Perkasa. Tun is the most senior federal title awarded to recipients of either the SMN or SSM. However, the SMN and SSM are not the highest federal awards. The SMN ranks 4th in order of federal awards and the SSM ranks 5th. There may not be more than 35 local living holders of each of these awards at any one time. The numerical limits apply only to Malaysian subjects. Foreigners may receive the award in a supernumerary and honorary capacity and use the title locally. The title for the wife of a Tun is To Puan. The SMN is usually awarded to the Yang di-Pertua Negeri and awarded the title of Tun in the highest order of the state. The YDPN of Penang is He Tun Datuk Seri Utama Haji Abdul Rahman. The YDPN of Melaka is He Tun Datuk Seri Utama Haji Mohd Khalil Yaakob. The YDPN of Sabah is He Tun Datuk Seri Panglima Haji Johor Muhyiddin, and the YDPN of Sarawak has newly appointed He Tun Pian Sri Abdul Tayyib Mahmud. Tan Sri Tan Sri is the second most senior federal title and an honorific used to denote recipients of the Panglima Mangkunegara and the Panglima Sesha Mahkota. The PMN and PSM rank 7th and 8th respectively in the order of Malaysian federal awards. The wife of a Tan Sri is called Puan Sri. There may be at any time up to a maximum of 75 living PMN holders, and a maximum of 250 living PSM holders. The numerical limits apply only to Malaysian subjects. Foreigners may be awarded such titles in a supernumerary and honorary capacity and may use the title locally. Datuk is a federal title that has been conferred since 1965. It is limited to recipients of Panglima Jasa Negara, of which there may be up to 200 living at any one time, and Panglima Sesha Diraja, of which there may be up to 200 living at any one time. The PJN and PSD rank 9th and 10th respectively in the rank of federal awards. The wife of a federal Datuk is a Datin. A female conferred the title in her own right is formally known as Datin Paduka. The prefix Datuk is more commonly used for women as well as men. The numerical limits apply only to Malaysian subjects. Foreigners may receive the award in a supernumerary and honorary capacity and use the title locally. Individual states that have a head of state nominated by the respective state's legislature may confer the title of Datuk to individuals. However, this is different from the title Dato'. The latter is awarded by individual states headed by a sultan, and not a head of state nominated by the state legislature. For example, the Yang di-Pertua Negeri Melaka is the non-hereditary head of state nominated by the Melaka state legislature. He may confer the title of Datuk. The Sultan of Pahang is the hereditary ruler of the state and may confer the title of Dato'. Individual rulers determine the award of these titles. State titles: in Malaysia, the ruler and governor grant state title awards. Some may carry the following state titles. Such titles are honorary and non-hereditary. State title may be revoked by the ruler or governor, and may be returned by the individual. Dato Shri Dato Shri or Dato Siri is the highest state title conferred by the ruler on the most deserving recipients who have contributed greatly to the nation or state. It ranks below the federal title Tun and is an honor equivalent to federal title Tan Shri. The wife of a recipient is Datin Shri. The current Prime Minister of Malaysia's title is Dato Shri Najib Tun Razak. Both former Prime Ministers Mahathir bin Mohamad and Abdullah Ahmad Badawi also held the title Dato Shri during their administrations. After retirement, both received Malaysia's most senior federal title Tun, conferred by the Yang di-Pertua Negara. Since Dato Shri is the most senior state title, there is a limited quota that can be awarded in each state. The ruler only confers such an honorary title to a very few recipients during the ruler's royal birthday celebration every year. In Selangor, a maximum of 2 Dato Shri state awards can be conferred each year, up to a maximum of 40 living Dato Shri holders at any one time. The numerical limits apply only to Malaysian subjects. Some rulers grant awards which carry highest titles unique to that state, such as Dato Shri Utama of the state of Negeri Sembilan. Women holders of Dato Siri or its derivative will be called Datin Paduka Siri. The derivatives such as Datin Paduka Siri Utama in Negeri Sembilan and Datin Paduka Siri Engda. Datuk Siri Datuk Siri is the most senior state title conferred only by the governor to the most deserving recipient who has highly contributed to the nation or state. The governor who is appointed by the Yang di-Pertua Negara, namely the governor of Melaka, Penang, Sabah except Sarawak, can award the Datuk Siri title and such honorary title is equivalent to federal title Tan Shri. However, both titles Dato Shri and Datuk Siri may cause confusion since Malaysia media and press may address Dato Shri title holders as Datuk Siri. Women who have been awarded the title of Datuk Siri may use its feminine title of Datin Paduka Siri and its derivatives such as Datin Paduka Siri Panglima, Datin Paduka Siri Utama and Datin Paduka Patinggi. An example is the current spouse of the Prime Minister Datin Paduka Siri Rosmah Mansor. Dato is the most common title awarded in Malaysia. The wife of a Dato is a Datin, except in Terengganu where they are known as Tapuan. The Dato may only be conferred by a hereditary royal ruler of one of the 9 Malay states. There are also hereditary Datos from Negeri Sembilan, where titles are held for life by heads of certain families and passed on to their heirs. These are not conferred by the ruler, but passed on through the customary native laws. The wife of a hereditary dato is addressed by courtesy as Tapuan. In other states, certain noble families also have hereditary titles and are addressed as dato. For example, the current Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dato Najib Tun Razak, is hereditary Orangkara Indra Shorhbanda of Pahang. He would have been addressed as dato even if he had not been conferred a Dato Sri State Award of Pahang. Foreigners may be awarded such titles in a supernumerary and honorary capacity and use the title locally. Female datos are called Datin Paduka as she is bestowed the title on her own right while her husband will not receive a title. Other derivatives are Dato Wira in Pahang, Dato Paduka in Negeri Sembilan, and Dato Laila in Brunei. Datuk a governor who is appointed by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. The governors of Malacca, Penang, and Sabah does not confer the title Dato, as the title of Dato is normally awarded by the Malay rulers. The governor of Sarawak may award the Panglima Sesha Bintang Sarawak which carries the title Dato. Each state may have their unique variation of Datuk. The Dajjal Samlang Seri Malacca from Malacca carries the title Datuk Wira. Sarawak awards statue to senior civil servants, the Datuk Amar and Datuk Patinggi. Foreigners may be awarded such titles in a supernumerary and honorary capacity and use the title locally. This title is mainly used in Brunei and Sarawak. An example of the title in Brunei would be Pian Orangkara Laila Sesha Bakti di Raja Dato Laila Utama Haji Isa, the former Minister of Home Affairs. In Sarawak, the title comes with the award of the Satria Bintang Sarawak. Among its first recipients is His Excellency Tun Pian Shri Haji Abdul Taib, the former Chief Minister of Sarawak and incumbent Yang di-Pertuan Negeri Sarawak. JP or Justice of Peace rank below all Dato or Datuk. In Malaysia, justices of the peace have largely been replaced in magistrates' courts by legally qualified stipendiary magistrates. However, state governments continue to appoint justices of the peace as honours. In 2004, some associations of justices of the peace pressed the federal government to allow justices of the peace to sit as second-class magistrates to reduce the backlog of cases in the courts. Foreigners may be awarded such titles in a supernumerary and honorary capacity and use the title locally. Dato Paduka Dato Paduka is the most common title awarded in Brunei, of which it is a class of the Dajjal Seri Paduka Mahkota Brunei Yang Amat Mulia. The wife of a Dato Paduka is a Datin, except when the recipient is a female, whereby she would be addressed as Datin Paduka. Other versions of Dato Paduka includes Dato Seri Paduka, Dato Paduka Seri, Dato Laila Utama, Dato Paduka Seri Laila Jasa and others. These title awards are granted by His Majesty the Sultan of Brunei, and the titles are non-hereditary. Honorary styles: the following are both used as styles, before a person's title, and as forms of address. Tuan Yang Teratama is the style of a state governor, equivalent to Your His Excellency, and also as a title for serving ambassadors to Malaysia, for example Tyt Tuan Christopher J. La Fleur. Yang Amat Berhormat is the style of the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Chief Ministers and the Menteri Besar of the states and Tuns who are members of Parliament. Yang Berhormat is the style of members of Parliament and State Legislative Assemblymen. A prince who is a member of Parliament is Yang Berhormat Mulia, for example Yang Berhormat Mulia Tan Sri Tengku Razali Hamdsa, the MP for Gray Musang. Yang Berhormat is also used for recipients of the First-Class Order of the Crown of Johor regardless whether he is a member of Parliament or not. Yang Amat Arif is the style of the Chief Justice of Malaysia, the President of the Malaysian Court of Appeal, the Chief Judge of the High Court of Malaya and the Chief Judge of the High Court of Sabah and Sarawak. Yang Arif is the style of a judge. Yang Berbahagia are the styles of persons with a chivalrous title. The English versions of these styles follow British usage. Thus the Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers, Senators, State Executive Councillors and Judges of the High Court and above are styled the Honourable. It is a solecism to style the Prime Minister or a Minister Right Honourable as they are not members of the Privy Council of the United Kingdom. Other Malay titles by inheritance: Permata Paramata, Jewel Princess, Potra Putri Futeri, Princess, Radia Moda, Crown Prince, Bawah, Princess, Sangkopan, literally means the one to whom surrenders, Pornindiangan, literally means the Most High, Simban, literally means worshipped, Panjuran, equivalent to Tengku or Prince, Raja, varies depends the lineage of Hereditary. Unku, equivalent to Tengku or Prince. A hereditary title from one of the lineages of the royal family of Jawa. Raden, a royal family name used in the several Malay sultanates in Kalimantan, used extensively by the Pontianak Malays. Abang is a title that is particularly found in Sarawak. Its origin rooted from the appointments of Datuk Patinggi, Datuk Temenggung, Datuk Banda and Datuk Imam for centuries, long before the British colonisation. The children of these state dignitaries carry the title Abang and Dang. When an Abang marries a Dang or a commoner, the issue will get to keep the title. The issue of a Dang does not carry a title if she has a non-Abang father. However, if a Dang marries a male aristocrat bearing a different title than hers, her issue will be named according to the husband's given title. Ang is the term used for addressing men in Brunei and it is equivalent to Mr. However, Angku are hereditary, of which they may later claim the title Panjuran since they are also related to the Brunei Sultanate. This, however, can only be done after he gets the approval of the elders and is considered as matured enough to carry the title, or after which he has married. The change is only eligible for those who inherit the name Ang from their family line. As for the rule of inheritance of the name, it is the same as Abang. Dang is the term used for addressing women in Brunei and it is equivalent to Ms. Dang is also the female issue of an Abang and an Ang. Syed is a title inherited by male descendants, through the male line, from the Prophet Muhammad via his grandsons Hassan and Hussein. Female descendants are known as Syarifa or Sharifa or even Sayyida. Mgat is a title inherited by the male descendant of Mgat. Mgat is a descendant of the Pagayuan prince, Mgat Torres, who was also the first Bendahara of Perak. Megats along with Puteris and Tums are typically found in Perak. Mgat is also styled by a half-blood royal male descendant of a female royal of Pahang. Futeri is a title inherited by the female descendant of Mgat. Tun is a title inherited by the issue of a Futeri, the female descendant of Mgat and a commoner father, in turn inheritable through the male line. In Pahang it is the title of a male or female descendant of a sultan through the distaff line. In upper part of Terengganu, Tun is a title inherited by descendant of now abolished Bendahara of Terengganu. Mia is a title inherited by the male issue of a Syarifa and non-Syed father, and for female the first letter of the name comes with Ma as in Ma Maschara. Typically used in Perak and few other states such as Terengganu and Kelantan. Wan is a title inherited by the issue of a male Wan. Typically found in Pahang, Kelantan, Kedah, Terengganu and Natuna Anambas. In Kedah, Wan is the title used by descendants of certain former chief ministers of the state, for example the descendants of Wan Mode Salmon. Wan can also be used as the title for a girl's name, but this is uncommon, for example Wan Asa Wan Ismail. Wan can also be found in Sarawak, and is somehow related to the state's Syed lineage. A female issue of Wan carries the title Sharifa. A Wan may later claim the title Tuanku. This, however, can only be done after he gets the approval of the elders and is considered as matured enough to carry the title. The change is only eligible for those who inherit the name Wan from their family line. The issue of a Sharifa does not carry a title if she has a non-Wan father. Nik is a title inherited by the issue of a male Nik. It is typically found in Kelantan and Terengganu. Che is a title inherited by the issue of a male Che descendants and were also used by some Malay nobles in ancient time. Certain lineage of Raja Jembal descendants also uses the Che title. However, the Che title can also be passed down from a descendant of a female Nik and non-Nik male. The Che title is commonly found in Patani, Kedah, Kelantan and Terengganu. Other salutations, Haji can be used by people who have completed the Hajj. This title is abbreviated as HJ or HJH. Tuan literally means master. Due to its colonial overtones, this term is mostly obsolete, although the title can still be prepended to Syed and Haji. It is used for non-titled members of parliament and state assemblymen. In some states like Clanton, it could also denote one of the royal family. As an equivalent of Sir, it is used in formal correspondence. When addressing an audience, the plural form Tuan Tuan is used, usually combined with Puan Puan as Tuan Tuan dan Puan Puan. Enkik is equivalent to Mr. and can be used by all men. Puan can be used by all married women. It is equivalent to Madam, not Mrs., as most married women in Malay-speaking countries do not use the names and or surnames of their husbands. For married women who use their husbands' names, they can be addressed as Puan. It is also used in formal correspondence. When addressing an audience, the plural form Puan Puan is used, usually combined with Tuan Tuan as Tuan Tuan dan Puan Puan. Keek is equivalent to Miss and can be used by all unmarried women. Sabah Honours and awards for Sabah the state of Sabah by Act of Parliament established an order of chivalry styled Darjah Yang Mulia Kinabalu. The relevant legislation governing honours and awards in Sabah is the State Honours Enactment, 1963. The enactment deals with all aspects including process of nomination, conferral, wearing of medals, promotion in the order and quotas. Appointments to the order are made to persons who have rendered meritorious service to the state. Appointment to the order is submitted to the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri by the Chief Minister. Every appointment to the order is by warrant under the hand of the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri. Non-citizens may be appointed as honorary members of the order. Such example is Shane Leslie Stone, former Chief Minister of Australia's Northern Territory, who was conferred the Panglima Gemilang Darjah Kinabalu in 1998. Order of Kinabalu the motto of the order is Sabah Majajawa. The Yang di-Pertuan Negeri is the patron of the order Darjah Yang Amat Mulia Kinabalu and is deemed a member of the first grade. A chancellor is selected by the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri from amongst the members of the first grade. Grades of the order There are 4 grades of the order: First Grade Sri Panglima Darjah Kinabalu, Knight Grand Cross of the Order of Kinabalu. Recipients may use the appellation and style before their names of Datuk Seri Panglima and Wives Datin Seri Panglima. There is a quota of 150 members excluding honorary members. Second Grade Panglima Gemilang Darjah Kinabalu, Knight Commander of the Order of Kinabalu. Recipients may use the appellation and style before their names of Datuk and Wives Datin. There is a quota of 950 members excluding honorary members. Third Grade Ali Sesha Darjah Kinabalu, Fourth Grade Ali Darjah Kinabalu. Medals of the Order Bintang Sesha Kinabalu, Bintang Kinabalu, Certificate of Honour. The Yang di-Pertuan Negeri may on the recommendation of the Chief Minister cancel and annul the appointment of any person to any of the grades of the order. Related issues: It was recently brought to attention that not all Datuks have lived exemplary lives and some have even been convicted of crimes. The various sultans have taken steps to ensure the integrity of the institution by means of consultation as well as the revoking of the given titles. Mahathir bin Mohamad mentioned that one of the problems with titles in Malaysia is the numbers given out. He stated in an interview, "Personally, I feel if you want to give value to anything, it must be limited. If you produce 1 million Ferrari cars, nobody will care about buying a Ferrari." The Raja Muda of Perak, Raja Nazrin Shah, stated that is my view. You degrade the award and the ruler has the right to revoke it. In my opinion, it should be taken away. He also stated that sometimes, I think we give away too many datukships. It dilutes and devalues the award. In the first government following the independence of Malaya in 1957, 5 of 15 cabinet ministers were datuks. The finance minister at the time, Tan Sio Sin, held the title Justice of Peace. Later he was granted a federal award which carried the title Tun. The father of Malayan independence, Tunku Abdul Rahman Putra al-Hajj, received no awards and carried the title Tunku, which he inherited as the Prince of the State of Kedah. He was honorarily referred to as Yang Teramat Mulia. The Senate held only 14 datuks and Parliament held only 7. The conferral of datuk by the Penang government to 25-year-old squash world champion Nicol David and Olympic silver medalist Lee Chong Wei sparked controversy that they are too young to receive the title. The Malacca government also was criticized for awarding the datuk title to a non-Malaysian Indian actor, Shah Rukh Khan, for making movies and promoting the Malacca state internationally. Issues in Selangor. The Datos of Selangor attempted to set up an association of Selangor Datos. It received approval from the Registrar of Societies but was shelved when the Sultan forbade any Dato from joining or risk losing the title. 4 Datuks were removed in 2003 by the Sultan of Selangor. Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim had his title revoked by the Sultan on November 3, 2014. Pahang. The Sultan of Pahang revoked the titles of 2 Datos in 2004. See also, Datu, a Euro-Philippine equivalent of Malay term Dato, Datuk, a Euro-traditional title in Minangkabau community, Bendahara, Yang di-Patu and Negara. Notes. External links, Special List of Federal and State Honours, awarded 2002 a Euro 2009, The Star, correct forms of address in, Selangor Sultan strips trader of title, August 2007, Malaysian Bar, Nation.com founder charged with graft, May 20, 2008, The Star.